Well, hello from Mexico, Highway 175, 175. We are right now exactly 1,491 meters above sea level on the side of the Sierra Madre Mountains. We have come up from Oaxaca. You can sort of see down through the trees in the distance. We've come up from sea level. 1,491 meters is essentially just shy of 5,000 feet. That is exactly where our home is in Banff in the Canadian Rockies. But this is about the windiest road you'll ever see. We've already passed through the coastal plains. It was 28 degrees Celsius. It's now 22 up here. We've come up through banana plantations. We've stopped for coconuts. And now, if you're up to it, we're going to start to take you for a little bit of a drive. So we're going to head back to our fancy rental car. And of course I have my son, of course, holding the gimbal because, as you'll see, I'll need 2 hands for driving. This was the first pull-in we could find, actually, since we stopped for coconuts a while ago. Now, the windshield is as clean as we could get it. Ever since renting this car a few days ago in the city of Oaxaca, which is somewhere between 120 and 300 kilometers away based on the road signs, then we got a warning straight away that the washer fluid's low, that the battery in the key is low, and that we need to service the vehicle. Oh, sorry, there's a car coming. Sorry, there we go. There we go. Motorbikes, cars. Here we go. All right, everyone. So, this may or may not be for everyone's taste. When I first described this road, I said I think there's 1,000 curves. I think there are well over 2,000 hairpin turns. We started driving at 8:30 this morning. It's now 10:30. Now we did get behind a police vehicle for a while, so we just stayed behind that vehicle. But this is the sort of driving which is really fun. I wouldn't want to do it at night. I wouldn't want to do it in a rainstorm, but this is the dry season. And things like lanes are just kind of suggestions. There are communities all up and down here. Here's Portillo del Rayo. Oh, and on top of everything else, there are potholes. Now, this is a real lumber industry, clearly, because we've seen lots of lumber trucks. So there's potholes in the roads, and also an inordinate number of speed bumps, which are all over Mexico. And I have to say, they are an excellent idea, is the honest truth. They're very frustrating. They're big enough that sometimes you feel the bottom of the car scrape, but they really do slow people down where they have to in communities. Now, again, if you really don't like the movement, don't feel obliged to stay here. If, however, it doesn't bother you, just give you a little taste of what this driving's like. The kilometer signs are fun because they're all quite random. We drove here 3 days ago from Oaxaca down to the coast. It took us about 6.5 hours. And at one point we saw a road sign. We were following signs to Puerto Escondido, even though we've been in Huatulco. And we saw a sign that said Puerto Escondido 135 kilometers. And then a few kilometers down the road it said 137. And then very randomly, a few more kilometers, it said 240 or something. So, all that noted, the ecosystems that you go through on something like this are just so incredible. It's so much fun because Finn will say to me, oh, look at that. And I'm like, I cannot. I cannot take my eyes off the road at all. This is the entire thing. There are no straight sections till we come down the other side of the mountains. If you look on a map, we're heading up to a community called San Mateo del Rio Hondo, which means deep river. And that's kind of the top. I do have an altitude measure on my phone, and so the highest I found was about 2,800 meters. So in feet, that's getting up towards the 9,000 foot mark from sea level. By the way, the car that we have is, I guess it's a Nissan Altima. It's actually performing very well on the roads. The potholes are a bit of a concern because this is just not the place you'd like to have a flat tire or anything. Now, I bet everybody's wondering what it's like to pass a vehicle in these conditions. Well, I only pass, and everyone else too. I mean, the people are extremely safe, polite drivers here. But you always just want to wait till you get a long enough view or
have the driver wave you by. This gentleman is not waving us by, so we are going to wait. Right now, if you are interested in the speed, oh, there you go, the waving, that was nice. There we go.
Thank you, sir.
So we were driving at 40 kilometers an hour, and now we're driving 60, and now we're back down to 40. So it's, I really feel like my ankle is getting the most work on it. But see how steep this is. See, speed limit's 60. There's a few places in the world like this where it's not that I don't want to do the speed limit, I just do not possibly see how I could do the speed limit. And on top of that all, we are climbing, climbing, climbing. Now these paths, of course, have been routes down to the coast forever. Oaxaca is the most ethnically diverse state in all of Mexico and the most biodiverse state in all of Mexico. And frankly, you can see why. Come up and over this incredible coastal range of mountains here, into a big central valley, and then up over another big pass into the main central valley, where the capital of Oaxaca is, Oaxaca City. And then from there, there's further mountains, further inland, they call them the northern mountains, but they're still part of this whole system of mountains. And there's something like 5 plates that come together here, which means Oaxaca is a serious earthquake zone as well. And I have to say, I'm reasonably keen on not feeling an earthquake while we're on the side of these mountains here. And I think my boy certainly understands. So we'll give you a few more bends here, partly because Finn's getting great exercise holding the gimbal.
Very confused.
Yeah, the car doesn't. So again, anyone who can hang on to the end of this, then you're safe enough to come for a road trip with us. I fully understand if this is not for you. I will actually tell one quick story, because the last time I was here was just at really the start of the pandemic. I had a tour group here, and we had a mini bus, but I had, I think, 15 people or 16 people in the group, and we did this drive the whole way, and yes, had to stop over for a couple of people who felt a little queasy, let's say, in their stomachs. Some of the roads in Colombia are like this as well, and that was the first time I learned what it meant when someone yells out on a public bus, "Bolsa." Bolsa means bag, and that actually means when your stomach is not keeping up with the windiness of the roads. So no big tour coaches here, as you can imagine. And the gimbal's doing a pretty good job, Finn.
It's tired.
It is tired? Yeah, I bet it is.
It's confused.
And are you doing well, Finn?
I am also confused.
It's getting spun around. So if you haven't joined us for a live virtual tour, we are on several platforms. And we do give live stream tours. We're hoping to do one high up today if we can time everything out. We've been very lucky with traffic. We weren't sure if a Sunday would be difficult, or we haven't seen many of the big trucks, so it's actually been a bit easier. Here's a puppy on the road. Very nice little puppy. And so it is, by the end of the day, I will be genuinely tired. But it is also just so spectacularly beautiful out through here that both Finn and I this morning said, oh, we're looking forward to this drive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do a couple of more bends, and then we'll let the phone, and we'll let Finn's arms have a rest. Look at that, by the way, 10 varieties of pine trees grow up here. So we've just moved into different ecosystems, and the outdoor temperature right now is 21 degrees. We get up to the top, it'll be about 15 degrees Celsius, of course. And then by the time we get to Oaxaca later this afternoon, it'll be back up to 27 or 28. So really quite an incredible ecosystem. And there's a house for sale if anyone wants to move up here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's a big truck. They have all these different places to eat along the way. So peace and love. And I think in the world as it is today, we really want to say peace. So thank you for connecting and being in touch. And we will see you on one of our, oh, just have a look at the view in here for a second. One of our live virtual experiences. I would pull in to give you a better view, but there's no places to pull in. So here we are, all the very best. Take care and thank you.